5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feeling great. It's time to go live.
You're watching PTZOptics Live, a high-definition broadcast available on YouTube and Facebook Live every Friday, streaming at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Broadcast quality made affordable. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Paul Richards here.
And I'm Tess Protesto.
And we're happy to have you because we have a fun show. We've been live every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern for quite some time. And I was looking into it. This is actually episode 42.
Episode 42.
Don't
That's
pay
crazy.
any attention to the spinning wheel over here. That we're not revealing that until September. But we are going to have some fun stuff. We've got a cool giveaway. If you haven't already, don't forget to go ahead and join our Facebook user group. That's where we notify everyone about the giveaways. But today we are giving away a Rocosoft control software that we're going to be talking about. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Should we dive in?
But let's dive right in. I wanted to give Tess her chance. Tess, you have your own button on our X keys here. Let me zoom in on this. This is so funny. I just want to show this off really quickly. This, when I click this button here, you can see Tess's face there. That means it's test time for social media update. Here we go.
It is officially test time for the social media update. First and foremost, we're going to highlight a couple posts for you, a Instagram post of the week and a Facebook user group post of the week. Let's do Facebook first, Paul.
All right,
just
well, go
kidding.
ahead and hit your Facebook
Let's
button.
Oh my God, yeah. All right, we're on Instagram, so why don't we just stick with Instagram?
Okay.
Okay, so the Instagram post, remind me of the name. Because I should have brought it up.
Conceptos.
Conceptos.
Yes.
Conceptos shared some of his or her PTZOptics gear on Instagram using the hashtag PTZOptics. It's not in English, but I still appreciate you for sharing your PTZOptics setup with us. Next, we're moving on to Facebook. William Warfield, I remember that one, of Prep Spin. Shared with us some really cool stuff he was doing with his PTZOptics gear. This past week, everybody knows that the solar eclipse happened. He used a PTZOptics camera to film the eclipse. He had kind of a fun little jury-rigged way of doing it. It looked like he cut up a pair of solar eclipse sunglasses, taped them over top of his lens so it would be protected, and he live streamed the whole solar eclipse. How many people did he have?
5,000 views in total.
5,000 views. Why didn't we think of it? Maybe next time. Finally, we wanted to give a shout out to our new Facebook group members. Welcome to the family. We don't have a key for that yet, but we will get one soon. Thank you guys so much. It's a great place for you to ask questions that you have about live streaming and share your live streaming experiences. So head over and join the Facebook user group at facebook.com/groups/PTZOpticsPals so we can continue the conversation. That's about it for me
so
today.
now we can push my button here. Ta-da!
I got to get used to having
Hey
them.
everybody,
I'm totally not used to it.
it's my turn now. Really quickly wanted to update you on some of the latest things that we've been talking about. We did some really fun Back to Basics show last week where we tested the NDI cameras, and the latency was almost equal to the latency that we saw with SDI. In fact, it was actually very close to what RTSP is. So we're moving to an IP world. All of our new cameras have power over Ethernet. And this Wednesday, we talked about opening the PTZ producer kit. And I wanted to mention, just kind of throw some hints, that the PTZ producer kits are going to be expanding with the new NDI capabilities. And a lot of new stuff is going to become more affordable. It's going to become easier to deploy live streaming systems. And today, we have with us Nick from Rocosoft, plus there is a box here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, nice switch, Tess.
Thanks.
There is a box that is here. We're going to open with Eric Pratt in the post show. And that is going to have... Wow, now that Tess has her buttons, it's actually like a lot more teamwork going on here. Tess has got the stinger. Actually, this is hilarious. I have to share this. Look at Tess's. This is her stinger. Ta-da!
I like to make
So-
my own drawings for my buttons.
Yeah,
It makes it
this
more
is cool.
personal, unique.
And these are like only $100 or so. You can get them from Eastern Shore Broadcasting and other stores, and these are
Excuse.
really great. All the things that you need. Anyway, it's time to pull in
Our guest.
our guest, Nick. How you doing, Nick? Oh, no. It can't be. Nick has been having some issues connecting, and just when you thought it was all set up, you get the frozen screen. Oh, Nick.
We haven't received a phone call.
We haven't received a phone call or anything here. We've got Texas in the house on Facebook.
Luckily, we have another guest in the wings.
Luckily, we do have another guest waiting in action. So what we're going to do
A regular.
is we're going to have to, I guess,
The poor
go
guy.
ahead and flip our script here.
Yep.
And
For now, at least.
For now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and switch our agenda, and we might actually cover Rocosoft in the post-show, because otherwise I'm just not sure how we would else do it. Eric, how you
You
doing
might want to
today?
give him a ring. Oh, I'm excellent. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you for being here, Eric. What I'd like to do is go ahead and jump right into our... I guess we'll jump right into tell us what is in this case, Eric.
Why don't you show us first?
All right.
It's all happening.
Tess, I'll let you do the reveal.
Vanna in the house.
I love the
once again.
turntable, by the way.
Actually, this is more like Deal or No Deal.
Ta-da! Deal or no deal. This is a wireless HD video transmission system. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes this one so much more special than, there's other ones
Just
out
about
there,
any.
Eric, obviously, but
Yeah.
you have found some really cool HD wireless stuff that I think we all need to know about.
Yeah, so a lot of people are familiar with products from like Teradek, IDX, Paralinx, and even Hollyland's other products, which all transmit SDI or HDMI video wirelessly at different distances. The thing that makes this really cool and particularly appropriate for this show is it's the only wireless transmitter that's capable of transmitting serial data. And what does that actually translate into? That means that we can send RS-232 data wirelessly up to 300 feet. That means this is really the only product that lets you take a PTZOptics camera and place it 300 feet away from your mixing desk without any cables intervening. And you can use it to control, you can use an HC Joy, PTZOptics RS-232 controller. And you can see there's a little 3-pin jack there, that green little plug there. That's actually where the serial data goes in. That's the receiver.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't make it easy.
And there should be
Oh, this one.
That one.
another. Is there a cable down the side there? Not the power cables.
gonna
To the sides of it.
these
Is this
both
the
up.
gizmo you were using at NAB?
Yes, actually, and there's another point that I need to bring up about this. I just wanted to see, not down there, down the sides. I think I can
Cycle.
see it.
All right, I'm messing this up clearly.
Yeah, there. Is there something where you just stuck your hand? No,
Stuff in
one
here.
over.
Those are the antennas.
Yep. No, on the sides.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
What kind of day
so
are we
then-
having?
The unit comes with 2 cables which convert a DB9 serial signal, which is the output of the HC Joy, into this 3-pin input. And then on the other end, there's a 3-pin to DB8 mini DIN, which plugs directly into the PTZOptics camera. And so magically, somewhere between point A and point B, that serial data is transmitted.
Wow.
But
So
to go
let's
back
step
to
back, because I feel like it was just a little bit techy there, Eric, and I usually do a pretty good job. But so wireless HDMI in from the camera, out from the receiver, so into the transmitter, out the next one. But it also
Yep.
passes RS-232, which we can plug into a joystick or Rocosoft or other software. So 300
anything
feet
that
roughly?
can do RS-232, 422, 485, but we've mainly tested it with RS-232 and PTZOptics.
Perfect.
So we know
That is
those
pretty
work.
Sweet.
Yeah, the HC Joy on one end, and the that's what it's designed for. So out of the box. There's another really good point the Tess brought up. We used this at NAB because we had a regular wireless transmitter, and NAB is just a cacophony of wireless signals. It's just, it's a 5G wasteland of noise. So the regular wireless transmitter that we were using was having difficulty connecting even over a short distance. The ScreenLink, which is what this product is called, has a unique feature called DFS, which is short for dynamic frequency selection. And so what it's doing is it's constantly scanning the spectrum, the 5 gigahertz spectrum, and it finds the quietest part of it and it punches through. And then if that part gets noisy, it flips to another one. So it's flipping all the time, trying to find the quietest and best signal to transmit on, and it's doing that continuously. And it's actually that feature which enables the serial data to be transmitted. So ultimately what this means is 2 things. You can have a PTZ camera remotely and control it, and it will constantly try to be on the quietest signal so it can handle urban environments, busy trade shows, and other noisy places.
Awesome.
So the distance on this is 300 feet?
Yes.
I already have some questions for you.
Good. Yeah, let's just jump into questions as if it was the post show, and then hopefully we'll get Nick back on sooner rather
Did you
Joe,
guys
what
give
is-
him a
what
call
is-
on his cell phone?
Yeah, I've texted him and we've emailed him.
But yeah, we'll get
It's
him.
it's millisecond latency. It's
Millisecond. Wow.
Wow.
purportedly less than 1 millisecond, both for video and data.
That's pretty crazy. And does it come with this case?
Yes, it comes in that case. It comes with the adapting cables. One thing to note is that it's made for use with a power supply on both ends.
Okay, so you do need power or like some battery on the wireless end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's 2
it's
power
made for a
supplies here.
fixed installation. Yep.
And that's all I'm seeing. 2 power supplies.
No cables, huh? We will have to track those down because those are kind of an important component.
But that's okay. I'm sure when a customer would buy this, it would have that. So
Yeah, it does, and they're very nice cables.
If you're FAM, they give you the box with missing parts.
well,
We love
I
to
know
send
we have
missing-
the parts somewhere that we could find. But that's cool. So this
Yeah,
is made by
so-
Hollyland?
Yeah, so Hollyland is one of the companies that we distribute for. They're a company that primarily specializes in wireless transmitters, and they make some really nice ones. They make a 400-foot unit, a 1,000-foot unit, and then they make one that goes over 3,000 feet for a really aggressive price point.
Jeffrey's asking, is this done over the Wi-Fi?
No, it's while it's a 5 gigahertz spectrum, it's not a Wi-Fi signal. It's an omnidirectional. I shouldn't say. I guess it could be proprietary, but it's not a Wi-Fi. There's no other equipment that's involved. The units transmit from one unit to another directly
James
and aren't
says, is there
dependent
an
on
option
anything
for...
else.
Oh, sorry.
No,
It says, is there an option for SDI?
that's a very good question. Currently, the current unit is HDMI. There are plans in the works to adapt the existing units. So Hollyland, as I was mentioning, makes a 400 and 1,000-foot unit, which are both SDI and HDMI simultaneously. They're looking to add that DFS function to those other units, but not currently. You need to use an HDMI to SDI converter.
Okay.
All right. We got Nick back. Nick!
And then just to
Am I late?
A little bit. That's okay. Eric, let's let you finish up, and then we'll pull Nick in.
I was just going to answer Jeffrey's question of whether it's only RS-232, and it's any serial data. So it's RS-422, RS-485. The package, the cables that it comes with are configured for RS-232, but you can wire it for anything with a proper pin diagram.
Yeah.
Are
Gene
you
says-
Matthew Perry's brother from Friends? Asks
You always look like
Phil
someone
Cosby.
every
Yeah,
show.
everyone
Eric.
wants to figure out who you look like.
I say Iron Man still.
Yeah.
Jane says it would be cool to use this setup
Brendan
for...
Fraser's what I get. That's pretty
Brendan
cool.
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
It would be cool to use this setup for our long run
Or
for
Hugh
our
Grant.
concerts.
I've got
to
Hugh
the
Grant
front.
before.
So let's go ahead and get Nick into this show. Nick, how are you doing?
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Great.
We're so glad to have you. Eric, we're still going to answer all your questions that are coming in, but we wanted to give now Nick a chance here. So Nick,
Take it away.
you are here now, and we're going to go
You are here
back
now.
to what we were hopefully
He's pulling up
planning
the
on
agenda.
going over today, which would be...
Rocosoft.
Here we go. Okay. Sorry, everybody. A little bit of live troubleshooting. We got to switch back to Nick. There you are, Nick. Okay. Can you make yourself a little smaller?
Just try and pull him up.
There we
That's
go.
fine.
Smaller, bigger. This?
There you are.
Fine.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. So, Nick, let's start with an introduction. Can you tell us about you and Rocosoft?
Broadcasting cameras. We enjoy doing it. Work when you need them.
Well, we've got about 54 people watching on YouTube
Yeah.
and a bunch of
Way
people
to
watching
put
on
the pressure
Facebook. So I
on.
just want to make sure that we stay on topic here. What I wanted to do was talk about the different types of control, and then we'll talk about some of the awesome features that you've implemented, because you really do have one of the best softwares in the industry, and I don't throw that around there lightly. Let's talk about UVC control for people who don't know what UVC control is first.
Thank you for putting me back on track. Yes, UVC control is a simple control of a webcam. So if your PTZ camera is a webcam or can act as a webcam and you connect it to the UVC port of your computer, we can control it. That's like that. And with the newer cameras, like your huddle cam camera, we can control it over the same cable. With, I would say it's kind of new stuff, VISCA over UVC protocol. When you still have your camera connected and getting your video stream to your computer and controlling it without using any extra cables like VISCA and all this stuff. So just one cable does the job.
And that is very interesting. UVC, just one single USB cable for video and audio. We have USB cameras specifically to save money on frame grabbers and different things. This is one of our USB models here. I'll go ahead and zoom in just to show how easy this is to do. Whoop, and you can see the USB there on the back of the camera. Just about. There we go. So UVC, easy peasy video connection, somewhat new still, but I think it's really good. Now IP control, Nick, that's my favorite, and I'm guessing it might be your favorite too. I'd love to know what people think about in the chat, but IP is over Ethernet, and that's how we're controlling the camera now, actually.
Yeah, that's the way to go today, actually, and we have our software. We can control all the IP cameras that are out there with all different protocols, and we try to do it professionally. You can add a joystick to your system with our software. You can actually add multiple joysticks to your system. And yeah,
So
you can
here's
have them
the
all
joystick.
connected together to the same computer and switch between the joysticks for different scenarios.
All
You
right,
can
Tess, you got
customize the
control.
buttons.
Whoa.
Whoa!
No. There is a button, there is a button slow on the interface. Click it 3 times. We have 3 levels of the slow motions. That's exactly for the situations like this. So it's
So where is that button?
it's on the bottom of the software. You see there are 3 performance improvement
I see it. There.
modes. We
See how
have
slow
a
it is
That's
now?
nice that you can
joystick.
set that.
Slow.
Yeah, we have 3
1,
levels
here's
of the
slow
slow
2. Oh, there's your
Yeah.
lipstick case, Tess. Don't zoom in on that. So Tess
Trusty
has control with
lipstick
the joystick now.
Things could be dangerous. I
And
have control.
This is just
Yeah.
a standard USB joystick.
Did I just zoom or did you do
I'm zooming for you with my mouse.
Hey, are you panning?
Sorry. So that's IP control. We're going to do a full demo, so I just want to go over that. Now tell us about Visca, because Visca seems to be the one that everyone's familiar with. It's maybe is it the best one, would you say?
I would say it's the most reliable type of connection that is still very
Going back.
still very important for the broadcasting market today, because everybody is still using it. We are all moving to the IP type of connection, but we're not there yet. If you want something really reliable, you have to use a cable. Very simple. And on the Visca side, we have the
you know
most
what?
advanced software. We can do a lot of automation tools. Like, we can do anything you want with the camera. You can do anything you want with the camera.
And we are.
On a scheduler,
Oh, I see it there.
or on a timeline, like in the studios. You can even record the movements of the camera and replay wherever you need.
There we go. And
Like
we're
you're
going to get
having fun.
into a full demo of this software, because this is just one thing here. And
So
Tess
is this a situation when people have their Xbox controllers? Are they using Rocosoft likely?
yeah, you can use an Xbox controller. We didn't get a chance
I
to
see
set this
that a
up
lot.
yet, because we set up the Logitech one. But we keep seeing it on social media, people
Mm-hmm.
posting that they're using our cameras with Xbox controllers.
Yeah, it's why it's like, there's a question, why are we even here? What are we doing for this market? What can we bring to this market? We can bring a very simple to use PTZ controller to any computer or live production system, like TriCaster, vMix, all live production systems. Like, you don't need anything else, just our software, and you can use any USB in any USB joystick, wired or wireless. And the most important part, it performs great. So for us, it's very important. So
I want to
it
show
works better
something,
than
Nick.
any hardware joystick controllers, and it's very simple. There is a very simple explanation. All these devices, they have CPUs inside, and any controller has a very slow CPU. And we are using, these computers that are very fast and perform much better.
The one of the things I wanted to show, because you're asking, what are we doing here and what are people using? We actually did a survey, and the first survey was, how many cameras does it take to create a good quality live stream? And 37% said 3 or more. And if you combined 3 and 2 or more, almost 80% of people said you need at least 2 cameras to have a good quality production. To create a television quality production, people said you need even more cameras. 22% said you need 5 cameras. 18% said 4. 35% said 3. So roughly 70% said more than 3.
Wow.
And then when we talked about pan tilt zoom cameras, how many do you typically use presets? People said at least 3 to 5. Some people said even 5 to 10. So 70% of people are using more than 3 presets. And with all that being said, it's like you need a nice software to control that. We also asked if people were using IP. Over 60% of people are already using IP in their video productions.
Interesting.
And given the choice of what cable would be easiest, clearly most people said either Ethernet or SDI. So just to give you some examples, there's something maybe we could hear. I would love to hear you respond to some of those survey questions that we surveyed our customers on.
You cannot create a good show without having like 3, 4, 5 cameras. It's important to have them. You need a reliable connection, and everything has to work and be prepared before the show. Like, I had 5 cameras today that I wanted to use in this show, because in my studio it's like, it's a spaceship. But nothing worked
That's what
because of
happens
this.
when you're ready to
Yeah,
live.
that's what happens. Yeah, and then if nothing works, just disconnect everything, use cables, and it will work. Now everything is connected with the cables. It's controlled by IP. So yes,
Here it is.
but 5 cameras is what you need. Presets. Uh, these days it was harder, like 2, 3, 4 years ago when all the cameras had only 6 presets. It was a standard. Today, no, it's like you have up to 255 presets, and people need it for larger events. And we support up to 510 presets with our
Nice.
software, and that limit is a logical limit. We can do more, but you know, it's
Who's
not
really going to
logical.
need
Who
a
really
thousand
needs that
presets?
many
That's a
presets?
lot
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
more than enough, and it's important with our software because we use external presets. So we store camera positions in our software because not all the cameras have that many presets. Very big brands, the limit is 32. That is not enough for today's market, for today's shows, and people need more. And this feature is the one of the most requested feature to have, as many presets as I want. I mean, if somebody wants it, I want 200 presets, no problems. And it's important, yes.
So let's talk about the preset visualizer, and this is something that I really think you did a great job on. This was something that I think it really puts your software above and beyond some of the other softwares that are out there. Can you talk about that for us?
Yes, that's our vision of how to simplify the preset calling process. Can you show it? You see, I'm tied. I have no, I have no other cameras connected. I can do nothing. I'm afraid of touching my computer and kill this connection
There
that
we
we
go. So
have.
this is it right
Yeah,
here.
the preset visualizer is a virtual visual panel, like it's a separate panel on a computer that you can where you can move your preset buttons on the screen, on the top of the screen. So you can, it's like to call a
Wow.
preset, you just click it, and it's easy. You don't need to write the all these tables with preset 1 is a person to the left, preset 2, and all this stuff. You just click the button and the camera goes there. We do we have a few improvements now. We have PTZ layer preset visualizer now, so it's it really like it will make you crazy when you see it. It's a layer that you can put on a screen. It's a see-through layer where you can move the buttons of the presets on the screen. No matter what you're doing, like let's say you have a TriCaster, you just layer the entire screen with a preset visualizer and put the preset buttons on the screen whenever you want it.
Awesome.
And they are saved per camera, and it's easy. It's like you see everything right there. You don't need anything.
Well,
You don't
we
need to
covered
memorize the preset positions.
the USB joystick, which Tess was operating over here, and we covered some of
Got a
the
little
advanced
out of hand
features.
with
I
that.
think what we should do now is we should probably go ahead and do the giveaway.
Yes. Why don't we go ahead and pull up Gleam?
Great.
All right, here we go.
And now it's time to announce this week's live technology giveaway winner. As noted in the contestant rules, all winners must be present in the chat room to claim the prize, or a new winner will be drawn. Drum roll, please.
So Nick has been so nice. We have 592 entries.
Oh.
And we're going to pull just one winner. Of course, you do have to be live in the chat to win.
To claim your prize, Jonathan Miles.
Wow, Jonathan, I know I saw you in the chat.
I did see you on Facebook. I
So,
believe.
Jonathan, we're happy to have you as a winner here. We definitely think that
Give us a hello in the chat so we know you're here, and it's yours.
And I'm going to go ahead and pull in Eric. So we're just going to jump into a Q&A now. We've got Eric Pratt here. Eric, you still here?
Of course.
Awesome. So we've got Eric, we've got Nick, we've got Tess, we've got Paul, talking in third person. But we're all here, and we're here to answer your questions. So let us know.
John's here.
John's here. Congratulations, John. Do you have a PTZ camera to use it with? I hope so. But if you don't, you can still use it with some. You'll get one, I guess. That's the best camera, because best software. So here
Hi,
is
Eric, by the way.
the chat below.
Hi. Lisa.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one. Not yet. Not
We
yet.
would have had a lot more time to chat in the pre-show, I'm sure.
Hope you have a PTZ camera in general.
Any PTZ camera will work. So, questions. Did we cover everything?
No, there's certainly some questions to address. Gonna have to go back through my information. Can you use PTZ control to run the Susan? No. Is the USB Xbox control being done over IP, or is that only for USB cameras?
That's a good question. I believe the way it works is that you can connect, the software can connect to the cameras over IP. So the cameras can all be on the network, the software is on the same network, running on a Windows computer, and all of that is managed over the network. But the Xbox controller, pull this out of your computer,
Go ahead.
doesn't want to come, there we go, is actually, it's a USB dongle that plugs into your computer. So it still does need to be plugged in to your computer via USB. Come on. There we go. So the USB part is the receiver for the joystick. The control can all be done over IP. Hopefully that makes sense.
All right, Brian Anderson says that he was testing with Rocosoft connected to a PTZ 20X with RS-485. I was unable to pan and zoom simultaneously. Is that possible?
Can you answer this question for us, Nick?
Simultaneous, you mean different
time.
cameras? You can use our automation software and move different cameras, as many as you have, simultaneously. You can broadcast the commands to the cameras. Yes, you can create a playlist of the movements for the cameras. Let's say you have 20 cameras connected to your computer, and you will move all 20 cameras. You can just move them, with a specific speed at a specific time, or you can call presets to the same cameras at the same time. It's up to you. It's called, you're broadcasting your commands to the cameras. With a joystick, with live production, no, you still have to switch between the cameras, because there is only one joystick. But that's an interesting thing. I don't see any practical use for it when you have two
Well,
cameras.
I think,
Well,
Nick,
why
I think
not?
you may have, I think the question's a little different.
Yeah, he's talking about just with one camera, can he pan and zoom at the same time?
Oh, it was a simple question. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yep.
No, it's okay.
Look at that camera behind you, Nick. I see the giant Canon camera moving.
Oh, yeah.
Look
And
at
by
all
the
those
way,
cameras he has.
Wow.
Oh, billion. With our software, you can control all cameras simultaneously, or from the same software, all different brands of the cameras. Canon, all cameras that are controlled with VISCA protocol, Pelco protocol, all IP cameras. It's like just one software does it all.
Cool.
I have one for
Yeah,
Eric.
Shoot.
Will the screen link convert the signals, or is it just a wireless transmitter? I'm not exactly sure. what that means.
Yeah, no, I know what they're asking. The screen link is HDMI only, so there isn't any conversion going on. The question is like on a Cosmo, there's a SDI and HDMI, so you can go in SDI on one side and out HDMI on the other. And the units that someday will support DFS on that will convert it, and the current units currently convert it.
Another
but the
one.
screen link doesn't have that functionality because there's only HDMI in it.
Okay. Can you have multiple transmitters to one receiver?
No, but you can have multiple receivers for one transmitter.
Backwards.
Interesting.
If you wanted to use with battery power, what voltage and amp is required?
Interestingly, it takes an extremely wide range. I think it's 7 to 36 volts. I think at least a half an amp.
Okay. Brian was clarifying, saying that he's thinking about sports tracking, panning and zooming in at the same time. He couldn't with RS-485 connection, but I guess I can play some more.
Yeah, we've run into that issue too sometimes, where the two signals are getting crossed, the panning and the zooming. That they like, you can start zooming, and if you try to pan, it gets locked up. If you start panning and try to zoom, it. I don't know if that's a.
Sure, go ahead.
If you are talking about our software, so no, it's not true.
Well,
we can pan and zoom.
Yeah,
and
so it's
both
doing
at the same
one or
time.
the other.
Yeah, because
zoom out?
sometimes if you're
I'm
talking
not
about the
sure
hardware
with that.
joysticks,
There,
yes.
It might be one of the buttons. But
You
I'm
went
not
off to the
looking
right.
now.
We have some setting going that it just goes off once I'm done. Like once I let go, it's snapping back to like a preset or something.
Are there repeaters? Asked Joey Barron.
I'm not sure if that's for
Who's
Eric
asking?
or for Nick.
I think that's for Eric.
You could put several units in sequence. Somebody asked me the question the other day while I was doing some vMix training, if you could have multiple cameras sequentially, because the RS-232 goes from controller to camera to camera to camera. Well, between each controller and camera, you'd need a screen link. I don't see any reason why you couldn't take two units and wire them together to get 600 feet, though I have not tried it and can technically not endorse that.
Cool.
Covers everything for me so far.
All right, great. Well, we made it through a fun Friday show. It was a little tricky, I'm not going to lie.
We always like to live life on the edge, though, so
Live it on the edge a
we
little
can't
bit.
handle.
But it's a Friday, so we can all go home and relax and enjoy a great weekend.
Thank you both for joining us,
Thank
Eric
you
and
to our
Nikolai.
guests. Thank you to our
Thank you, guys.
friends.
Thanks for having me.
One of the things I wanted to briefly end on is I wanted to mention to everybody we do have this new thing coming out called the World Studio Tour. And basically, if you have a video production studio or know someone that does, we can put them on the map and we'll add them to a studio tour starting in just a few weeks, actually. So today's September 1st is going to be Labor Day, so we're taking that off.
Coming up
September
soon.
8th is Tally Lights. We're going to have a really cool Tally Light giveaway. And then September 15th, we're going to be live from IBC. Eric's probably going to help us with that. And then starting September 22nd, it's the World Studio Tour. So that should be really fun. We hope that, if you have a cool studio, we want to have you on the show. If you know somebody who's got a cool studio, we want to have them on. And then Tess had this great idea. If you are on the show and you're having your studio, we hope that you would open your doors to local fans and everyone can kind of come into the show, come into the studio and have fun.
We're definitely going to do it here, and if you're willing to, that would be cool.
So that means every Friday from September
It's gonna be a long
22nd
campaign.
on, it's 3 months, you can come into our office and hang out during our show. And it's going to be a studio tour every Friday. Great
Thanks
idea,
again,
Tess.
everybody, for joining us, and especially to our guests today. And if you are here for the first time and haven't joined our Facebook user group, after the show, head over to facebook.com/groups/PTZOptics pals so we can continue to chat.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
And that's all, folks. We appreciate your participation in the chat room and can't wait to host our next informative Q&A session. Your questions drive the conversation forward for live streaming professionals around the world. Until next time, happy streaming!